Hello and welcome to episode 6 of our Timberborn 1.0 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 7, day 4, where last time we had our first couple bad tides, figured out maybe a potential solution to our bad water woes, and fixed a couple of small things. And today I think is probably going to need to be mostly focused around fixing our bad water supply, which, if you remember from the end of last episode, I had proposed a little pathway here, and it looks like they've actually already built all of these stairs in the time it took me to end the last episode and then get this intro rolling. So, as a reminder, we have 5 bad water bucketing posts here. We've got 5 tanks for bad water. We've got a lumberjack flag, and we've got these marked for cutting, and there is a geothermal field right here, which is going to be extremely useful moving forward because bad water gathering, once we have enough science to unlock it, has this thing. The bad water pump takes 200 HP. It is a 3x4 building, which, you know, a little bit bigger than this area, yes. However, we do have right now, I think 12. Yeah, we have 12 explosives, and we could very easily, if we're careful, get this set up to have a tremendous amount of bad water output. But for right now, this is as good as it's going to get. And it's going to be a little dicey for a little bit of time while we get some bad water brought in. But where the bad water needs to go, right here in the mushroom grower, is between here and the rest of the town, so I think we've actually got a decent setup going here. So what else do we have to worry about? Well, if we go back to our tutorial for the Quest of Knowledge, we have a crappy warehouse set to brain-stimulating mushrooms. That is actually right here, but why is this not tripping this this tutorial objective? Do I have to just reset this or something? Yeah, that should autocomplete. I don't know why that hasn't done that. I wonder if that's to one of these things. I don't know. So maybe what has to happen is it has to have something in there. Either way, we'll figure it out. It's not really that big of a deal. We also have this civilized plank production that we want to maybe try to take a look at, which means we have to have a crappy water wheel and a rudimentary sawmill built, but there's not really enough flow here for this to be justifiable. Just as a reminder, we do now in 1.0 have the ability to kind of forecast how much flow is going to go through these wheels, and as you can see, this says 0, which last time I checked is not what we want. If we come out here, there's a little bit more flow, but it's really not much. If we were able to, however, in a different scenario where we had maybe a little bit of a better setup of organization, maybe we could put something in one of these areas up here. It's not making much, but the rudimentary sawmill, only takes 50 HP. So if it's running at half, yeah, it's going to be really slow, but it's still going to be better than these guys chewing on logs under a tent, So, well, I was going to say chew on that, but I guess that's a little bit too on the nose, isn't it? We got some stuff we can improve on. We're doing our best. We're making decent progress. And, a lot of the time, that's basically all you can ask for. We're slowly accumulating science. We've got 20 stairs, which I think are going to have to be our first investment. Cost 70. So once this is, actually up and running, it might be before the end of this episode, we'll have some stairs. And, of course, the stairs are going to be extremely important to us getting anything accomplished here. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Yeah, not really in an enviable position without also having the spiral stairs. But I think we're going to have to be content just to have regular stairs. And if I can get this to advance, then we'll do that. I may have to disable and re-enable the tutorial to get it to play nice. Let's actually let's try that real quick. I don't take stuff out of these videos normally, but we'll just leave that in there, let that run just a tiny bit, and then let's come back in and uncheck that. Yeah, it still says it can't do it, and that is brain-stimulating mushrooms. It is set there. I wonder if it's just that specific warehouse, or if it has to be... Wait, do I have 2 of these? I have 2 of these set to brain-stimulating mushrooms. And yet none of them... Okay. Last ditch effort. I don't technically have to remove this. So I probably won't, but I'll go ahead and I'll build another one set to brain-stimulating mushrooms. And if that doesn't trip it, then, well, there's not much else I can do at that point. I am at least trying here. So we got 2 of these guys. That is way too loud for me to zoom in, but we've got them. They're very, very, very slowly getting bad water, but they are getting it. And we should, you know, in pretty short order, have a decent amount of brain-stimulating mushrooms coming out and letting us do what we've got to do. Let's just give this a shout here. Yeah, you know, it's doing something. Can't really ask for too much more than that. These are all brewing. Well, this one doesn't have quite enough cabbage yet. We have still not managed to make enough cabbage, and it's honestly kind of funny. But at this point, if I digressed anymore, I'm pretty sure Jay's 2 cents would send me a cease and desist. So, let's go ahead, all jokes aside, and move a little bit further down my list of stuff that I wanted to do. Which I think, even though we can't really do too much yet, I think it's going to be to our benefit to start working toward getting a lot of these things up and running. The Handicrafter's Lodge right now isn't really something that's super necessary, because we can't really, you know, make most of the stuff that it uses. But, you know, it's going to be good to have one of these. And if we can identify an area where this may possibly go, that would make sense. And we should probably build it. I'm not going to, you know, derail everything to do it right now, but we should keep that in mind. This is going to be a very important building before too long. Outside of that, when it comes to food, we also have the Florist, which, seeing how our berries have been kind of, you know, completely obliterated on a third of that area over there, the Florist, I've been told, has been reworked and is a much better building than it was in previous versions. It allows us to make berries, allows us to make brambles. It allows us to make lotus flowers and nenuphars, by the way, which normally we would not have access to for quite a long time. We don't have dirt, and we won't for a little while, but we have clay. And nenuphars can be consumed. They can also be used in recipes. And at least at one point, there was a building that was almost, I shouldn't say entirely dedicated to separating these, because these grow together when you plant them. It was a pretty big deal. And then plant fibers, which, if you remember from a couple of moments ago when we were talking about the Handicrafter's Lodge, that's how you make rope, is you make plant fibers, and those plant fibers do come from the Florist with sunflower seeds, sawdust, and water, which we do have. So, I think the Florist is going to be a pretty important thing, and I know for a fact later in the tutorial, because I went through most of it on a different save before I started this one, but, or before I got past episode 1, I should say. It does want you at one point to build 2 of them. So, if this ever allows me to progress, I'm imagining that's probably going to be one of the next things. I just don't know why that's not working. But not much else we can do besides, you know, just letting them do what they got to do and moving on. I don't think they're going to be working on this anytime soon. So we'll see if this automatically fixes itself. For right now, though, I think we should be scouting a site for some florists. And this is kind of a strangely shaped building, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's got this balcony thing. If I can find a spot, there we go. Let me hide the HUD so we can actually see this. A place like this would actually be a decent spot for it because it does have this balcony that it grows flowers and stuff on. So we could pretty easily put one of these here and then another one right next to it. We do have this staircase right there if we wanted to do that. It would not be that big of a deal. Now, they do enter it on this little walkway here. So however we build this, we're going to want to make sure that we can, you know, actually get through stuff. And I think for what we're doing right now, here, and then maybe, see, that's not going to work. I'm trying to avoid building a platform if I can help it, but I think this is probably going to have to be good enough. Let's just put a crappy platform there. Remember that we have to attach here, 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 and then I suppose right like that. Yep, and those are all good to go. I'm going to preemptively set both of these to berries just because we are going to be heinously low on berries for a long time. The berry recipe is quite literally just water and sawdust. So before we place anything else, let's take a look here. We know water is going to be an issue. We can put a pit tank right next to them with pretty much no problem. The rest of the recipes are basically sawdust or dirt or clay. So, knowing that, let's put in a pit tank right here. Set that to water. I know that it's going to take them a while to build this, but we're going to get it set up, and it's not going to be a problem. Large pile for sawdust might not be a bad idea. There's not really much else we can do over here. Anyway, we can always move it. If you don't like it, it's always allowed. That's going to go there. I'm going to put a smaller pile for some clay. No, I'm not, because clay does not go in a pile. It goes in a warehouse. And then I think the other thing that we're going to need possibly was sunflower seeds, so that we would be completely prepared, even though, you know, we're not probably going to use those right now. No, those go in the pile. Those go in the pile. See, I played myself. Where is... I guess I should have maybe a little bit of berry storage here, and then since we're going to maybe make plant fibers, I guess I can just put one of those storages there. Okay. Once again, it's going to take them a while to do this, but I think it's going to be probably to our benefit to have that taken care of. Let's streamline this, as those are still blocked. Okay. What I should have done is I should have placed this slightly offset so I could put a staircase directly here. The way that that's set up is probably fine. Okay, we're making decent progress here now. But, you know, predictably, it's a very slow process. Let's get this back on triple speed. This has not been built, so, you know, this does give me hope that maybe this will work. If not, I will probably have to try and reload the game, and then, of course, I'll have to edit the loading part out, but I do want to try and advance this as much as we can. And as soon as we get more than, you know, 20 science, I think we're going to be in a really, really good spot. We got 11 contaminated beavers. We need more beaver jail. That's a brand new sentence right there. Yeah, where can I really put one of these that's not going to be dumb? Cabbages. See, I probably shouldn't put it here either. But there's only so many places. Oh, guess what I can put here? If you guessed chestnuts, you win a prize. That prize, of course, is the satisfaction of knowing that you were correct and absolutely nothing else expressed or implied. I'm not patient, so I'm gonna advance this. And if this doesn't fix it, then I will reload the game and take care of that then. Fun fact, I'm recording this maybe 10 minutes after I finished recording episode 5. I think it was episode 5, or is it episode 4? Whatever the previous episode was. So, you know, maybe reloading the game is one of those things that just has to happen, but let's give them just a little bit more time here to try to get this taken care of. And we'll see. Okay, that did not seem to tolerate that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reload the game. Well, I'm going to save and then reload, and if that doesn't fix it, then well, that's what it is. But I'll be back in just a moment with a fresh reload. Alright friends, we're back at it with the reload, and it appears the game still does not want to recognize my brain-stimulating mushroom storage. So let's try that one, and... where'd it go? That one? Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's not really anything else I can do. We can't advance the tutorial past there. Fortunately, I do know mostly how to play this, so... I don't think it's going to really impact anything, except you guys aren't going to get as much of the lore that was so much time and stuff was put into. Well, we'll go through it when we get there. Oh, hold on. We got a special beaver here in the bucketing post. Who is it? It's Bobbin. Yeah, took a break from leaf coats and ember pelts and all the other fun stuff to come here and suck poison out of the river. I can't say that's my idea of a vacation, but you know what? Your service is appreciated. Now... if we were able to actually have anything show up in here, and that clears that would be great. But for right now, there's not much else we can do. So the florist appears to be getting stocked with water. We don't have a lot of sawdust because I think we may be putting too much of that into the mushroom recipe. So I'm going to change this to the slow mushroom. So we stop using all of our sawdust over here. And then as these guys continue... well, there's actually only one beaver in here because I have 21 vacancies. chew on that one. It'll get better. It'll get better in time. Also, we still have 12 contaminated beavers. So as these guys, you know, time out of contamination beaver jail, it'll improve. But some of these are... Oh, not poor Eld Games. You didn't deserve it. None of you deserve it. Sawdust is also being consumed here to make paper, and I have 29. I'm going to go ahead and pause this for now. We don't really need it. It was important that we build it so that we have it. Right now, we're just consuming sawdust that we otherwise could use for a bunch of other stuff. Scrap metal, we're full. Is this full? Making metal fasteners. No, it is not. Tools, however. Tools, it is full. So we should find somewhere to put a storage for tools. And I don't know... do I want to get rid of these? I mean... Alright, I'll tell you what. Can this guy reach? Yes. I'm going to have them cut these couple of trees out, and I'm just going to make some more warehouses for things that are made in this... What do you call it? Very scientific term. I'm very aware. Let's get rid of that. Then just get this out of the way now so we don't have to worry about it later. Tools can go there, and then this one can be for crude saw blades. Actually, hold on. Crude saw blades do not go in a warehouse. They go in a pile, if I am not mistaken. And, come on, let me click. There we go. Oh, these things, the screw press axles, oh boy, we probably should start making some of those. As soon as we can have reliable water flow to spin stuff so we can actually make planks faster. Yeah, we're going to run out of those with a quickness once we start using them. Okay, cutting stuff down here. Part of me wonders if it would be better to actually... That wasn't what I wanted. To put in mushroom growers over here, even though we don't really have sawdust. I think for now we are probably okay doing that. I'm going to pause these. One, because they do contaminate beavers. And two, because we have 189 bad water right now. I think we're going to be okay just leaving this as bad water storage. But what I should do is I should probably try to empty these so that whatever bad water is over here can be put over here. You know, we've actually got enough, if we had beavers in here working, to make a decent bit of science. Unfortunately, it does still say -18. But we do have 14 contaminated beavers, and we do need contaminated beaver jail to be contaminated beaver jail. So guess what? This is the island of knowledge. Well, depending on how you want to skew it, you could say that contaminated beaver jail is its own form of education. So guess what? It's time to get educated. We're going to put space for 12 beavers to become educated about their contaminated state on the island of knowledge, and then move on with our lives. And assuming we can actually utilize the sawdust effectively, we should have a decent quantity of berries coming out of here. Thankfully, it is a drought coming and not a bad tide. The bad thing is we have 69 beavers. We don't have a lot of beaver storage. There we go. We don't have a lot of water storage. And I don't have the science to research the medium tanks yet, so we are kind of at the mercy of basically wherever we can put pit tanks. And it is what it is. We just need them to be able to store as much water as possible, no matter what. It's probably also... Even though the billboard says 1 pump is good for 20 beavers, we have enough stuff consuming water where 4 is probably not enough. And we're going to want to put in some more pumps, basically anywhere we can. I think the way that this is set up now, I can probably justify taking that row of stuff out, marking these for cutting, and then basically just relying on this for now. It's not going to be here forever, but for now, getting the resin. Even though we're kind of full up on resin, Yeah, you're the one that did this. Let's go ahead and pause that tapper's flag. We don't need that active right now. Got a lot of tools. We're going to let them make more tools because, again, we only have one of these to make all 3 of these recipes until we can build, it's not called a factory anymore, the workshop. And, you know, honestly, the only thing we're missing from this list is tar. And tar, I believe, comes out of the alchemist. And we have everything we need to do. Folks, we're not that far behind. We're really not. It's just a matter of priorities and power generation. And that is, that power generation is going to be kind of annoying until we can get up here. Yes, I know I already talked about this, but this is far enough away where it's kind of not worth messing with to a huge degree. Yeah, I'm gonna just reopen this, but I wanted to get bad water over here enough where it was not going to be a huge issue. All right, we got them doing social time at the library, which, hey, that's great. More people should be doing that. Libraries are wonderful. I don't know, maybe the snacks at this one are a little suspect. Just a little bit. But I think we're going to be alright. So we have a 6-day drought. Okay, we might actually not be in a great spot here. 6-day drought, we have 68 beavers. And we only have 950 water. Yeah, see exactly what I'm talking about. There's still a little bit of contamination here, and they're going to pump all the good out of it, which means only the bad's going to be left. Yeah, so we're going to be in an interesting spot here in a second because we need to save the water for the beavers who can actually, you know, drink it. Let's hit pause. Let's think about this. And stuff, well, not this one, but these mushroom growers here, well, it's not on fast mode anymore, but there's still a lot of water. And it may benefit us. Remember, if we pause this, we're not going to lose our progress. So, just because we're in a drought and I really want to make sure we can use as much water as we can to actually keep the beavers alive, which is kind of the whole point, we'll keep these paused for just a little bit. No water here. And no water here because this is currently set to the wrong recipe, which means I actually probably shouldn't even have this operating. I probably should put this back on rice balls and then pause it entirely because that is going to even this out, which means we can have workers in the library. And if I don't have this lower prioritized, I can put 4 workers in the library. And then, provided that's good, looks like it is, yeah, we can actually make some science. Remember when I said, I think it was the last episode, that I'm going to hope to have stairs sooner rather than later? Well, this is how that happens. So, all we got to do now is just let them do what they got to do. Every 3 hours we'll get 2 science. It's 70 science for the stairs, and we are 46 away, so you can do the math on how many hours that is. It's looking better for us. It's not looking great for the crops here that are going to be dried out and whiny and also dead. But we've got 1,100 food, even if it's not all the glamorous, perfect food. It is food, and that is the most important thing. What am I going to do about building this, though? Because I feel like I have to have a way to keep stuff connected here. We talked about the storage lodge with the, like the wraparound deck kind of deal. But you have to be able to get onto the thing, and probably the hardest part about this is figuring out how to make this work without beavers getting stranded. Well, we know no matter what that once we have stairs available, it's going to be easier for us to get up to different places. But this isn't doing us any favors on how this is supposed to be set up. However, I do have an idea, and that is we have these suspension bridges that do reach close enough for us to build on top of this. I think if I put one right here, and I put another thing, that thing with the overhang on top, they should be able to stand on the very edge of this and build it from there. And then I would only have to put 2 staircases, one here and one here, for them to be able to get to this. Because remember, water beavers, you can actually go like this. Vanilla game, you can't do that. But I am just sickeningly curious about how possible that's going to be. So we're going to leave that there. 3.5 days left down to 700 water. Probably was a good idea to pause this. We are going to need to build more of these. Don't worry. I do understand that. And I think it's going to be our best option to build over here. That will also give us a little bit more capacity for beaver storage / housing. And I just think that's going to be our best option. We also need, once we get tar and everything, to have the bigger tanks. We know that. We know that. We just, once again, have to trust the process. Let them do what they got to do. At least we got 4 beavers in here, and they have a mostly fully equipped stash. These are paused because, obviously, a little bit of that left over. There's some trees to cut down here, and this is still pretty far away, but I think we can be fine with that. Come on, 70 science. I am waiting for this with bated breath. We are so close. So close. I don't know if it's going to happen before the end of the workday today. It might, actually. That gets me to 66. I'm going to be a bad boss and randomly extend work hours today. Unless we get to 70, then I'll put it back. Okay, never mind. False alarm. What I can do now, though, is I can come straight in here, get those stairs unlocked. Thank you. Stairs. Put that there, get that connected there, and suddenly, this is now in perfect building range of, not that one, of this guy right here. And we do want this, can't really see unless I start peeling the terrain back. I want this staircase to come out here. Not staircase. I want this to come out here because I'm pretty sure I can't build... No way! Seriously? That can't possibly be allowed. Like, I refuse to believe that that's actually allowed. I mean, thank you. I'm absolutely going to take advantage of this, but I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we may have skipped a tremendous quantity of suffering to get up if we can actually do this. I am in shock that this is even possible. Well, it hasn't been built yet, so I shouldn't count my chickens before they hatch, but man, oh man. Let's get this popped in here. All right, come on, path. Why can I not? There we go. This, for lack of anything better, really, maybe I should build plank tanks? Did I already make these as plank tanks? I did. This one is, yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. I'll put 4 more plank tanks here. That's about all I can do right now. But I am so excited. I can't believe it's going to let me do this. What am I to do? I'm beside myself with joy. Okay. I mean, outside of that, we've kind of reached a point where we need to just I need this to work, which is unfortunate. That's what it is, but see, if we can get up here, we can actually harness some of the flow pretty easily. And I am excited about that, but we do have to let it be what it's going to be. Is there going to be another path now that I have... Thank you, autosave. Now that I have actual stairs, is there going to be a faster way to get up somewhere? I don't know. I feel like I can't really be sure of that, just because of the layout of this being kind of weird. Man, I love this with my entire heart. This is hilarious that this works. And it's also, very possible that it's not supposed to, but in this moment, I will choose to be thankful. Celebrate what works. I've got a tremendous idea that I think is going to be a good use of 2 of our pieces of dynamite without building any more tower space. I need to see if I can get this to count as a path. Unless I played myself and this doesn't actually have any pathing value. Yeah, okay, this bottom level doesn't count as a path. That's... it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna be upset about it. I've already, you know, told the game to do ridiculously stupid things that I should never have expected would work. Okay, where's my explosions? Where can I... There we are. Dynamites. Yes. Let's dynamites that. And then all I have to do to get up here, up, okay, so that's going to be a... And we're using a lot of logs for this. Don't worry, it's going to be alright. That, go there, that can go there, and then we'll do the same... Okay, so this is actually going to be more than two dynamites. Well... before we get too carried away... Oh, I can't stack these, so I guess it does have to be like that. Alright. Well, the dynamite's not that hard to make. We just had it buried behind, you know, the Handicrafter's Lodge and nitroglycerin and paper. We have paper. We can easily build a Handicrafter's Lodge if we have a good spot for it. Nitroglycerin's the hard one, because that is buried behind the Alchemist. And saltpeter, which, you know, we can already access. Yeah, I think in this case, and not all situations would this be worth doing, but in this specific instance, I think this is worth it. So now this is technically a storage. I might not keep this unless this is... Oh, this bottom level is the storage. That's what it is. Okay. I should stop talking while I'm ahead. What am I going to put up here? It probably should be some sort of food, no? 800! Okay, that's rice balls for sure. Those are very easy to make. Alright, come on, big money. Let's go. Just build all these things, please, and thank you. Oh, I need to have these be super prioritized workplaces. Okay, water's coming back. We are out of water. Yes, I am aware. However, there's only 4 thirsty beavers, so I think we've done decently well. Let's let this be what it's got to be. Come up here. Man, if we can get up here and actually make good use of this space, that is going to be absolutely worth all of this pain and suffering, etc. That... Look at that big, beautiful rice ball. The Japanese name of which I am not good at pronouncing, so I will not attempt, lest I be roasted in the comments. But I'm going to turn this back on so we can make more rice balls. Now this is irrigated. They're going to replace all these things that are not... Yeah, we're running low on bramble flowers, so I do see what some people were saying about, you know, maybe you got rid of too many brambles too quick. But it's going to be okay. We will be just fine. I'm going to continue taking care of some of this. I don't think I want to turn these back on quite yet, because we do still have some bad water. I'm going to pause this lumberjack flag because I'm pretty sure they cut down everything they can actually cut down that's fully grown. Here comes the boom. Here comes the staircase. And we just have to do that 2 more times. And we'll be up here, and then we can actually get scrap metal straight from the source instead of making it. Even though, you know, we've done okay. And then we have a geothermal field. It's probably the most important thing that we have easy access to that, although we do have it down here. Maybe we can save these for when we do some other stuff later. It's like an emergency reserve. I have been told that these relics are going to annihilate the beavers if I attempt to harvest them. Now, just because that's true doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. But maybe instead of trying to go for the 1251, we have these little ones. And we do have contaminated beaver jails to kind of handle all this, so we're gonna play it by ear. We're gonna see what happens. Because having a lot of science this early would be very helpful. Okay, we gotta turn those mushrooms back on. Get those rolling. Oh, they reset. Did they... Oh. I just noticed the flavor text here. Should I eat this red and white one? It seems tasty. Bobby the Fool. You have to earn that nickname. Anyway. Some of these are really funny. I think this is probably okay for now. Berry-wise, we're still very much out of berries. This is... Why is this going so slow? Is it because we're really far away? I actually don't know. Here's what I'm going to do. This is kind of a... you know what? It's not going to be that much of a benefit to just have this connected here. What might actually be better is if we have this connected in some kind of a loop back to here. Plant fibers. I'm gonna... Maybe I shouldn't. I'll tell you what I should do. Berries instead can go not here because it's going to be completely pointless. Let's... Oh, wait. I have other stairs now. What am I... All right. Ugh. What's that? That DJ Khaled meme? Congratulations, you played yourself. That's me like every time I open this game up. Let's just put regular stairs in back here. Let's just make it easier to do literally anything. Up we go. And that'll be a nice loop there. Yeah, don't have much in the way of water, but we are working on it. That's exploded. Here comes the stairs. Oh yes, blessed freedom. Ah, see, look here. We've got, come on. We've got a lake. We've got flowing bad water. We've got flowing not bad water. But you know what we can do here? You have nothing to do. Why? Oh, because these brambles haven't... That's fine. I want to see if this is going to be enough to be worth doing anything. 8 HP. 6 HP. Okay. Well, okay, the nearest point is like right here. It's 10. Alright. 15 and 17. That's not nothing. But it's also not really anything. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. We are going to have to dedicate a considerable quantity of time and effort to getting this cleared out. So, let's bring this over here. Let's put in scavenger flag, or is there a scavenger like building I can do? I always forget. Scavenger's junkyard. That is going to require blueprints. We can't do that. So let's, for right now at least, just pop into scavenger flags here. You don't have to mark these for scavenging. It's fine. But friends, I am so curious. I am so curious. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see how bad it is. We'll give them a chance to, you know, do what they got to do. I think it is probably about time to turn... I'll turn 2 of these back on. We don't have this staircase in yet. Oh, we started using too many planks because somebody wanted to build stairs. I wonder whose fault that was. You know, I can't be mad because I literally told them to do this. So maybe I should just, you know, shut up and deal with it. But I know I can get rid of that. We've used 4 of the explosives. That was fine. We're lagging behind here because of... what else? Cabbages. Well, now that we have contaminated beaver gel on the island of knowledge, we don't need these. Which means what I can do here is I can plant additional cabbages, and we can move on with our lives. Everything else should be looking... Oh, we're out of rice, too. That's right, because all of it flooded and died. Or not flooded, whatever. Alright, we still haven't built that. I just want to make sure I don't miss it. Okay, so that's the last plank there. This is, you know, it's not going to be super quick to get them, but we're working as best as we can. Sawdust, I'm pretty sure, is mostly being used up by everything else. Water is not really recovering as fast as I thought it would. We do have 83 beavers now. That's part of the problem of building too quickly in this mod, is you can really, really get over your skis way too fast. But that is part of the fun. We just have to trust the process. Gonna have to add that to the list of phrases I'm no longer allowed to say. Yeah, we're gonna monitor this, because I am so curious about what is gonna happen here when these guys come up and start picking at this. 1, 2, Yeah, this is slow. I think only one beaver can actually do this at a time. Oh, is he still in there? I guess he is, considering that number was still going up. We're going to have to see if anyone gets contaminated, because right now we don't have any contaminated beavers, thankfully. But yeah, I can't justify pointing the camera at this forever and ever and ever, because that's not going to be very compelling footage. This is waiting on... Oh, it's actually more waiting on cabbages than it's waiting on mushrooms. That's kind of a surprise. We've improved the cabbage situation. I honestly probably should get rid of this and have them build another thing on top of here, because they can stand on this to build above it. I'm going to say for now, I probably can build another one of these directly on top, because I think that's kind of a good design. Hauler and box storage. Do I have 32? I do. Do I have rope? I don't see rope. So I had... Oh, I got 5. Okay, so before we build another one of those, we'll have to have a handicrafter's lodge. I should turn one of these into making plant fiber, I think. Let's do that. I know sunflower seeds. I've got like a mess going on here. Seeds go in the piles. They told us so. Let's have that be set right there. Plant fiber, was that a warehouse thing? Oh, I already have that, good. Yeah, so well, I'm not going to build this quite... Ah, we have a contaminated beaver. Okay, is that because they were doing this? Or is it because they were doing that? It's at 42%, that's probably fine. Now that this is set up like so, I probably don't need to have this still going, but there's not really any point to turning it off. What I can do is I can have this start gathering saltpeter, because that's going to be necessary for making all this other fun stuff. 100 science is going to give us the alchemist, if I choose to do that. I think that's probably going to be our best thing to start unlocking. Seamstress Lodge, by the way, is a new building, and that's going to be helpful. It shares some recipes, and this is actually a lot faster than the Handicrafter's Lodge at making, for example, balloons. Also allows us to make shoes. Sandals, I'm sorry. Satchels. Is that cold pill? Frosty pillow. Oh, yes. Shell necklaces, and then, of course, balloons. So this is not, you know, paramount importance to get done quickly, but we're going to want to do it at some point. The rope maker. Obviously, a mechanized building that will allow them to make rope, but we can just have them do it in the Handicrafter's Lodge at first without any more science. So, I am going to check out maybe a couple of other things. Okay, did we get our science from this yet? No. It's at 80%. Okay. I feel like it's going to be necessary to do that, but I don't want to make a mistake if I don't have to. Now, the gnawing hall for 50 science is... it's not considerably faster, but it is faster. 3.5 hours instead of 4.2, but I think we probably should still work toward a rudimentary sawmill, which, by the way, can get up here. You just have to have a viable path to get over there, and I think technically we do. We just have to weave around. Ah, but that's in the way. That's a problem. Pardon the muting, so I could have a cough and then drink some water. But I think strategically it would be a mistake to try and get this because of how long it would take to get. But I do have to be able to get over here. And the only way that's going to happen is if I remove this tower and this tower. So, you know, beavers love a good project, right? So I can have them start working on that. I can pause these two because I really don't need them to do anything else. Is this full? It's almost full. All right. Well, yeah, this is about as good as I can get, is just have them working on that. But we've got a drought in 3 days, and we only have 600-something water. That's not good. It's not good, boys and girls. So we need to build additional pumps. like yesterday. Then this uses a lot of water to make the rice balls. I'm going to pause it just because it's not helping us. Well, having rice balls is good, but it's probably at this point hurting us a little bit more than it's helping. And we're going to be paying the price if we are not careful. Man, see, I really thought I was going to be able to get actual power up here, but I forgot that I can't actually get the path to do this. Well, there's always the age-old strategy of figure something else out, and I think that is probably going to have to be what I do here. So we're going to bypass it, and then I think, do I have the materials? I have 3 gears. Okay, geothermal engine. Do I need a gear to make this? I don't. I don't. Well, you know what that means. Oh, okay. No, we need to, before we place anything, we need to figure out where the hole is. Okay, so that, if I were to put there, well, it would be a mistake to have this just directly connected, for a variety of reasons. So I think what's going to happen, let's consider this. That is not going to fly there. It's going to have to go here because this is... No, that's not that one. This is going to have to go here. And in the Waterbeavers mod, you must, absolutely must... Oh, don't tell me I have to research that too. You have to connect it in the right spot, or bad things are going to happen. So, that is unfortunately going to end up being a problem. This is going to have to go away. Because I forgot that I had to have this go somewhere else. I also realize the irony in how I have attempted to conduct myself here. I kind of forgot that I can't get anything up here. I'm going to have to come up from this side. Let's just get this set up like so. Rudimentary sawmill. Now there is space here for us to very helpfully put a pile for probably not the output, probably the input would be more valuable here. Actually, you know what? No, that needs to be sawdust because that's absolutely going to become a problem. Yeah, that's going to be more of a problem than anything else. No. You know what it needs to be is crude saw blades. And we have a drought coming up, and I only have 1,000 water saved, and we have 82 beavers. Okay. What are we to do about this? Well, now I got a problem here because I'm absolutely gonna run out of water. 8 days. Okay, no. It's pausing time. Okay. I don't know if this is still true. But, oh no, it does. Okay, jailed beavers no longer need drinks, food, sleep, shelter, or cleaning until they feel better. There is... It's messed up, but there is a strategy I've heard people talk about doing where if they know they don't have the food or the water, and we don't have much food either, they will intentionally contaminate beavers. Not that we can do that right now, because there's nothing to contaminate them with, but you can intentionally Nothing to contaminate them with. Nothing to contaminate them with, you say. Okay. We'll think about it. I've done it before in at least one series. But just going off of 2, the numbers aren't exactly 2, but for rule of thumb, 2 water, 2 food per beaver per day. So right now we'll be charitable. We'll round it up to 200 food per day, 200 water per day. We don't have that. So what are we lacking in the food department? Well, we have 341 rice balls. We can't really make a lot of braised cabbage because we don't have enough cabbage. The cabbage is growing, and it can be harvested, but these beavers are maybe busy doing a little bit too much. So I'm going to put one of these on harvesting, like it probably should have been. And we already have that one set. So honestly, at this point, we just need more beavers to be doing food things, because we grew the population probably a little bit too much without increasing the amount of farmers. The billboard's going to tell us, actually, and I'm going to feel dumb. How not to starve. What's the number? Ah! That'll do it. One farmhouse is good for 10 beavers. So, this thing making plant fibers sure is helpful for some other recipes, but it's not helpful for keeping the beavers alive. Berries are pretty slow. This is using a lot of water to make one berry. Oh, but it's also a house. I can't really pause it. We're going to have to make a lot of changes here. Okay, florist on the wall. You all use water? Okay, well, plant fibers are less terrible because it's 12 hours to use one. So, that is what I will do. I will change these. You have to let me know, like, remind me that I've done this because I'm going to forget. But I'm going to change both of those to be plant fibers. They're going to keep pumping for, I don't know, maybe another half a day, and then all of this water up here is going to be gone. We're going to need to, and honestly, I should have done this a long time ago. We're going to need to put in a pump or 4 down here. This isn't really going to line up very well. But this building will, to my knowledge, it says building flooded, but it shouldn't be flooded. You can use these underwater. Yeah, these are going to be our emergency pumps. And I know it's going to just increase our population even more. But there's a fun trick called, if it's not functioning, you can shut it off. Which I think is going to be our strategy here for water. But that's not going to help us for food purposes. I don't think they can just eat chestnuts. Okay, that's talking about the warehouse, not what's inside of it. Chestnuts in terms of a food item, I'm pretty sure can only be used as a component in a recipe. Well, if we can at least get more water, then we can justify having this cooking tent making rice balls. Because that is tremendously expensive from the perspective of water. So if we can continue supplying, then I can justify that. Is this still making salt? I have plenty of salt. Okay, so that's probably fine. This is not powered because of course it's not. It's got the clay, the log, gears. I see this has gone down to 2 gears, which means somebody is carrying a gear. And that was, I think, stored, yeah, right here. So at some point we should see somebody come up here with a gear. Oh, I need this episode's already too long. Yeah, we're going to get this taken care of. I've got science. I'm going to just, for right now, get that unlocked. Why is this? There we go. I was about to say, what? Oh, there's an arrow on this? Oh, because it's a T intersection, not a 4-way. Adaptive horizontal. Oh, that's a lot of gears. 3 gears. Okay, this. Which way do I want this to go? This way? Probably. Oh, I really don't want to get this wrong. All right. That's going to power this. You know, all right. I should have expected this. I should have checked it. I have no right to be upset. But it's 100, really, dude? The 100 HP. These make like 400 in the base game, or is it 200? Well, at least this only requires, what, 50 HP? Yeah, okay. Look, I get it. I get it. It's an exercise in sadism or whatever. I understand. Truly, I do. But really? Really, man? Alright. If I build a crappy water wheel, even if it doesn't do anything, then I could advance that part of the tutorial. But I probably do need to end this episode. Alright, we've got 3.7 days until that cabbage starts dying. This probably just needs to be harvesting. They'll get it figured out when they can't actually plant anything. Rice has 4.5 days. These, you know, it's pretty quick to make a bunch of these. You just have to have the materials. I need them to build this water pump. And this one so we can, you know, not die. See, this is where automation would be great. And I should be using it, except it's actually kind of expensive in Waterbeavers because you have to have the quartz, and you can't get quartz until you have the medium mine, which is, yeah, that one. We got our work cut out for us. Okay, one more thing. Before we end today, I do want to get the alchemist unlocked. And I want to find a place to put this. It is a levee, but it still can't be underwater if you want it to work. So, okay, stuff we're using in the recipe. Sunflower oil is going to be a very contentious item. We're going to have a... Okay, I should not use that word in a video. We're going to have a challenge of a time doing sunflower oil, because that has to go into a screw press, or has to come out of a screw press. Remember when I was talking about the screw press axles and how much I hate those things with every fiber of my body? Yeah, that's why. 27, let's change this. Okay, well, I'll wait for them to finish. There we go. Yeah, now I have to make screw press axles. These are, ugh. They take almost 3 full days of work hours to make. That has to be connected there. Plank, plank, plank. This needs a couple more logs. That's fine. Then that's there. That's there. Oh, yeah. So we're getting to the part now where everything just kind of becomes a huge problem all at once. And I've got... Okay, where's the building that makes the pomade gears? Is that under wood? Or has that been deprecated? I should have checked. I really should have checked. That's not going to be under metal, is it? Power, is it under science? Is the mechanics lodge? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's the mechanics lodge. Okay, so this building is also 100 science. The very top option, 10 hours, you make 1 gear. So it's not called a pomade gear anymore, it's just a gear. But this is, to my knowledge, the only way to really make a gear until you get the... no, it's not the workshop. Oh, it's not in the abyss, is it? To make the gears fast? I think it might be. Yep, there it is. Oh boy, that's a... How long has that been 1,000 HP? Alright, so, long story short, gears are precious. So, us doing this way is expensive relative to, you know, the cost of doing some other stuff, but it's going to be very important that we do it. And we're going to need to make sure we can actually survive doing this. I need them to build these, and they are not building these things. I've got 6 beavers who are doing nothing. I really should have had more in there before. Now I know people are going to say something like that. And that's totally fine. Okay, I need to turn off anything that's consuming water that it doesn't have to absolutely be on. I don't have mushrooms, so I can't make any more of this, but I also don't have cabbages, so... I'm kind of in this position of I really don't care about that, but we are going to be very, very poor off if we cannot continue making rice balls. So that's important. That's important. I know they don't line up exactly. This is a survival thing. This is not a solve all your problems thing. You know what? I think we're at the point now where we kind of just need to stop and then come back to this. But I'm going to hold off on placing the alchemist until the next episode, and you guys will have a chance to actually comment before I record another one of these. I'm not entirely sure what the best way to proceed from here is going to be. So I will await your comments on this. But, as always, I appreciate you guys watching these videos and putting up with the occasional nonsense, because I do think this mod's a whole lot of fun, even if it's extremely challenging. But I think for the most part we're doing a good job. We've got a lot of stuff going very well, especially better than my earlier attempts at this mod. But we got a couple things to figure out. So, you know, let me know what you're thinking. If you got any ideas, if you have any personal experience with the mod that you would like to share that you have not already shared, just let me know. I do always read all the comments. I also want to make sure we acknowledge the beard boosters who make this channel possible with their contributions, so I don't have to do sponsors and all that garbage. Just have a fun time playing with beavers on the internet, because that's what it's about, right? So, whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun. Hopefully you have a better food and water situation than these water beavers do, because they're going to have a rough couple of days here in a little bit. We'll be fine. It always ends up working out. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.